Let me ask you something. You are working on a real-world data analysis. You need help structuring a study design, drafting a summary for a pharma client, or making sense of a complex data set. So you open ChatGPT, type in your question, and what comes back is vague, generic, or completely off for your context. Sound familiar? Here is the thing. The AI is not broken. It gave you exactly what you asked for. The problem is how you asked. Most people treat AI like a search engine. Type a few words, hit enter, hope for the best. But AI is not a search engine. It is more like a very capable research partner who starts every conversation knowing absolutely nothing about your dataset, your client, your therapeutic area, or what a good deliverable even looks like for your team. Writing a prompt is not just asking a question, it is programming with words. And once you know how to do it well, your entire workflow changes. Today, I'm giving you a simple 6-part framework for any AI request in your work. It's called prompt. 1 word, 6 letters. Each one solves a different reason why AI gives you off-target results. Here is what each letter stands for. P is for persona. R is for reasoning, O is for output format, M is for multiple examples, the second P is for provide context, and T is for task clarity. You do not have to use all 6 every time, but knowing all 6 means you will never be stuck wondering why AI is not doing what you want. You will know exactly which lever to pull. Let's go through each one with examples you can use in your actual work. The first P is persona. Before you type a single word of your actual question, tell the AI who it is. Now, one more thing before I enter the prompt. Take a look at the model I have selected here. I'm using GPT 5.4 with thinking enabled, and I have also turned on deep research. That combination alone will give you dramatically better results than going with the default settings. A little customization before you even start typing goes a long way. So here is the persona I am using for this example. You are a senior real-world evidence scientist with deep expertise in inflammatory bowel disease and U.S. commercial claims analysis. You specialize in biologic treatment patterns, competitive market dynamics, and patient journey analytics using Healthverity marketplace data. You are advising a pharmaceutical brand team preparing for a payer advisory board on biologic market share shifts and patient journey in moderate to severe Crohn's disease. That is it. 1 paragraph. But notice what just happened. We did not just give AI a job title. We gave it a domain, a data source, a deliverable type, and an audience. Now every answer it generates will be calibrated to that context from the start. Without a persona, AI defaults to a kind of average, generic voice. Not a pharma expert, not an RWD specialist, just a general assistant trying to be helpful to everyone at once. The moment you assign a role, everything sharpens. The terminology it uses, the assumptions it makes, the depth of its answers.
R is for reasoning, and in life sciences work, this one is especially important. AI will skip straight to a conclusion unless you tell it not to. When you ask it to think step by step first, 2 things happen. The answer is more accurate, and you can follow the logic, which is critical anytime you are going to use that output in a client deliverable, a study protocol, or a regulatory document. This is called chain of thought prompting. Think of it as asking AI to show its methodology before giving you the result. Now, a quick note on this. Newer models like ChatGPT 5 and beyond are starting to do some of this reasoning automatically under the hood, so you may notice better answers out of the box. But there are 2 reasons this technique still matters. First, if you are using ChatGPT 4 or 4.0, this makes a real difference in accuracy. Second, and this is the bigger point for our work, even when the model reasons on its own, it does not always show you that reasoning. And in life sciences, you need to see the logic. You need to be able to trace how it got from A to B before you put that in front of a client or a regulatory reviewer.
Use these phrases to trigger step-by-step reasoning before answering. Think through this step-by-step before answering. Walk me through your reasoning before giving a conclusion. Show your analytical approach, then give the output. What are the assumptions underlying your answer? This is also how you catch AI when it is wrong. If the reasoning has a gap, you will see it, and you know exactly where to push back. Let me show you what this looks like. Here's a prompt using the reasoning principle for our Crohn's disease cohort example. O is for output format. This is the most underused technique in professional AI use, and one of the highest value ones. Left to itself, AI gives you a wall of text, but in life sciences work, you almost always need a specific format: a structured summary, a comparison table, a slide-ready outline, a regulatory-style section. Tell it what you need. And here's something that surprises most people. The leading AI models today can go far beyond formatting text. You can ask them to build you an interactive web app on the spot, a data comparison tool, a visual dashboard, a calculator that your team can actually use. No coding required. You describe what you want, and the AI builds it for you in seconds. For life sciences work, that means you can go from give me a table to build me an interactive cohort comparison tool in the same conversation. Format phrases that work well for life sciences outputs. Give the Canvas feature within Gemini a try next time you want a stunning visual. M is for multiple examples. Instead of describing what you want, show it. This is especially powerful when you need AI to match a specific writing style, follow your organization's format standards, or produce outputs consistent with past deliverables. Give it an example of what a good output looks like, and it stops guessing. You can use this approach anytime style or format consistency matters. Paste in a previous deliverable and say, match this structure. Share a client-approved report section and say, write the next section in the same style. The more precise your example, the more consistent the output. Think of it as giving AI a style guide before it starts writing. And you are not limited to pasting text. ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude all accept multimodal input. You can upload PDFs, spreadsheets, PowerPoint slides, images, audio, even video. Upload your example directly and say, match this. The AI reads the format, the structure, the tone. You do not have to retype anything. The second P is for provide context. This is where most prompts fail and where the biggest improvements come from. Without context, AI fills in blanks with assumptions, and those assumptions are almost never right for specialized work. When you give it the full picture, the data source, the study design, the audience, the purpose, it stops guessing and starts working with you. For life sciences work, context means things like, we are analyzing Healthverity marketplace data, 2020 to 2023, biologic naive patients, Crohn's disease, anti-TNF cohort. Client is pharma, audience is payer advisory board. Or, this is for an ISPOR poster submission. The study design is a retrospective cohort using linked claims and EHR data. The more specific your context, the less you have to fix later. Give it the situation up front, and the output lands closer to right the first time. And if you forget everything else from today, remember 3 letters: A, B, C. Always be contexting. The single fastest way to improve any AI output is to give it more context. Do that one thing, and you are already ahead of most people using AI today. T is for task clarity. This is the final letter, and it is the one that holds everything together. A vague ask gets a vague answer. A precise ask gets something you can actually use. Tell the AI exactly what you want it to produce, how long it should be, what format, what constraints, and what to do when it is unsure. For life sciences work, task clarity also means building in a guardrail against hallucination. Add a line like, do not speculate beyond the data I have described. If additional analyses would be needed, say so explicitly. That single sentence changes the entire quality of the output. Task clarity is not about being demanding. It is about being specific enough that the AI does not have to guess what you want. Now let us put all 6 letters together in one real prompt. But before I show you this, one more thing worth remembering. Talk to AI the same way you would talk to a colleague. Clear, concise, no filler. When you present to a client or brief a teammate, you do not ramble. You get to the point. AI works the same way. The more word spaghetti you feed it, the more confused it gets. Say exactly what you mean, cut everything you do not need, and let the framework do the heavy lifting. This is the full prompt framework applied to a real life sciences scenario. Watch what happens when every letter is working at once.
You are a senior HEOR consultant with deep expertise in inflammatory bowel disease and U.S. payer strategy. Think through this step by step. Show your analytical reasoning before delivering the output. Structure your response as a strategic advisory memo with these headers: key findings, methodological considerations, recommended next steps. Under 400 words, use formal scientific language appropriate for a medical affairs audience. Use formal scientific language appropriate for a medical affairs audience. Here is an example of the advisory tone and depth I need. The observed 18% reduction in time to second-line therapy is clinically meaningful, but caution is warranted given the differential loss to follow-up between cohorts. We recommend sensitivity analyses stratified by index year. We conducted a retrospective cohort study using Healthverity marketplace data, 2019-2023, evaluating 12-month treatment persistence in biologic-naive patients with moderate to severe Crohn's disease initiating anti-TNF therapy. The dataset includes linked medical and pharmacy claims. We found a 14% higher discontinuation rate in the index drug cohort versus comparator. The client is a large biopharma company preparing a payer advisory board presentation. Synthesize the key implications of the 14% discontinuation finding for a payer audience. Identify the top 3 questions a payer advisory board is likely to ask and suggest how we should address each. Keep recommendations actionable. Do not speculate beyond the data I have described. If additional analyses would be needed, say so explicitly.
That is the prompt framework doing real work. 6 parts, 1 clear request, and an output you could actually bring to a client meeting. Let us do a quick recap. P, tell the AI who to be. R, make it show its reasoning. O, design the output format. M, show it an example. P, give the full context. T, make the task precise and guard against hallucination. You do not have to use all 6 every time, but the more of them you use, the better the result. Start with 1 or 2, then layer on more as you get comfortable. The difference between a useless AI answer and a genuinely useful one is almost always the prompt. And now you have the framework to get it right. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this and will give this framework a try. I made a 1-page prompt cheat sheet, all 6 letters, what each one means, and a copy-paste example built for life sciences work. The link is in the description, completely free. If this was useful, subscribe. Practical AI for people who work with data and science. See you in the next one.